Hey there folks, welcome back. NWO in full effect, and no, I do not mean Hulk Hogan. I wish it was. Right here, my candidate for presidency. NWO as in the new, dare I say it, world order. If I can say that without getting in trouble on ScrewTube, because they already don't like me as it is. This is a Biosphere project that is actually going to happen. A Biosphere smart city project. So not just a smart city, because they already have a few of these where they have the social scoring and all the constant monitoring. They micromanage your entire life. This is a biosphere. This is an enclosed environment, and it's happening in Saudi Arabia, and it's called The Line. It is called The Line, and I'm going to show some video clips here in a few minutes just to give you an idea of some of the concerns of this project. This is a massive biosphere, but the way it's designed is odd. It's long, which is why it's called The Line. This is going to be 656 feet wide. Okay, so not very wide, but 1,640 feet high, taller than the Empire State Building. You know, 164 stories tall, and 106 miles long, in the middle of freaking nowhere. All right, so if you could get out of here, you got nowhere to freaking go. 9 million people is its projected populace. They're going to put 9 million people inside of this thing. And it sounds utopian the way that they describe it, but it's more so dystopian because, again, it's a biosphere. The only way in or out is either through an authorized checkpoint. So if they don't want you to leave, your pass won't work. Or you could jump from the roof because there are no windows. Watch this video clip, and then we're going to get back to this and discuss it a little more.
Countless governments and companies have taken a stab at building a city of the future. There's Songdo in South Korea, the Alphabet-funded Quayside project in Toronto, which was abandoned in May of last year, and both Singapore and Barcelona have tried to modernize with smart sensors. In January of 2021, Saudi Arabia announced plans for its own futuristic city called The Line. Instead of communities sprawling outward from a central location, they would be built vertically and arranged, well, in a line, hence the name. Even though the vision for the city stretches 170 kilometers, it would do away with cars entirely and instead be connected by high-speed rail that would travel the entire length in just 20 minutes. And each individual community would be largely self-contained so that almost anything you could need, be it a school, a doctor, or a quick meal, would be only a 5-minute walk away. The government says the line will run on 100% clean energy and make extensive use of sensors and AI to manage the city's services. And all of this is supposed to be nestled in the pristine natural landscape of the Tabuk province with minimal impact on the environment. Now the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has revealed grandiose renders of what the city will look like to match the grandiose plans. The line is envisioned as a giant glass and mirrored wall, 170 kilometers long, 200 meters wide, and 500 meters tall. That's taller than the Empire State Building. It would have greenery stretching along the top, an open-air ventilation system to help maintain an ideal climate year-round, and it would house up to 9 million people. Now, the line is just one part of Saudi Arabia's controversial $500 billion NEOM megacity project. For one, the so-called virgin land that the government is building NEOM on is, unsurprisingly, not all that virgin. It is the ancestral and current home of many people, including members of the Hawatat tribe who are being forced from their homes for what many see as a vanity project that won't amount to much in reality. Those who have dared to speak out against the government's plans or refuse to give up their homes have been harassed and abducted by Saudi security forces, arrested, or in some cases killed. For example, Abdul Rahim al-Hawati, a prominent Hawatat activist, was killed by police in April of 2020 after posting videos on social media trying to raise awareness of the forced displacement. All of this controversy has even led to some commercial partners pulling out of deals, like Riot Games, which had signed on NEOM to sponsor the League of Legends European Championship. Backlash from the gaming community caused that to quickly unravel. Now, even if Neome is eventually built and lives up to its lofty promises, there will still be plenty of more cause for concern. The line is expected to be loaded with countless sensors, cameras, and facial recognition technology that, in such a confined space, could push government surveillance to almost unthinkable.
And there you go. Now, I know biospheres have been experimented with before, but every time I've seen a biosphere experiment, it's been like for a year and it has like maybe 10 or 12 people in it, something like that, because that's hard to maintain. But they're talking about a biosphere containing 9 million people in what's essentially a prison, because you can't get in and out of this without authorization. You're going to need a pass. This is going to be a social scoring system. This is going to be constant monitoring and tracking and micromanaging of each and every person. They make it sound real convenient. Hey, you're going to be able to walk to whatever you need within 5 minutes in each of the little sectors within this 106-mile long structure. Basically, an apartment building, a ghetto, if you will. I'm thinking of Mega City from Judge Dredd here, or Logan's Run, where they're contained and they can't go anywhere. Although I think it'll be better policed than Mega City from Mega City 1, Mega City 2, whatever, from Judge Dredd. If you're familiar with the whole storyline, some of you might be, because they're going to micromanage everybody's lives. The only way to operate in a biosphere is to micromanage everyone's life. So it is like a prison. A gilded cage is still a prison, because you need to, in order to keep it completely functional, because they said, oh, it'll be sustainable and everything's going to be recycled and blah, blah, blah. In a biosphere, and go back and look at some of these old biosphere experiments from the 70s and 80s when they used to do them, everything must be counted and maintained. So every single person must be micromanaged, in that it has to be controlled how much they drink, how much they eat, what they drink, how much clothing that they have, how much materials that they own, how much water they use for washing, bathing, whatever, how much electricity is used. Every single thing must be micromanaged to make the biosphere operate properly. You're going to do this with 9 million people, untested. Yeah, with a social scoring system and constant monitoring. Seriously, this is a roach motel. You check in, but you ain't checking out. And since it's controlled that way, and these people are not going to be able to get out without a pass, then if anything screwy is going on in there, you'll never know. How are they going to get out? Are they going to jump off the roof? There's no windows. I mean, it's a mirrored facade on the outside of the building, like a glass building. Are they going to smash the windows out and jump? Are they going to jump off the roof with a makeshift parachute constructed from bed sheets? How the hell are they going to get out? And then if you do, with all that monitoring and tracking that's going on, they'll know you're outside the building. I'm sure there's monitoring outside, as well as some kind of tracking that the individual's probably going to have. They're going to need to do that in order to control the population in a contained environment like that. I mean, there's been attempts at smart cities and things like this. I mean, there's some things like that going on now, but you can get out. You know what I mean? You can take off. Constant tracking and monitoring of these people. It's insane. That is really freaking scary. That is really scary. And to me, like I said, it is a prison. It is a dangerous experiment to cram that many people in there. And no matter what goes on, Saudi Arabia will make it look beautiful. They'll make it look amazing. Everybody's happy. They'll film happy-go-lucky, dancing in the streets people. And these people are terribly oppressed, terribly afraid, especially with the social scoring system. Afraid to cross the government, afraid of punishment, afraid of restrictions, having privileges removed, afraid of disappearing and never being seen again. Remember what they were talking about at the end of that video clip, which is courtesy of End of the Age, by the way. They were the ones using that clip, and that's who I borrowed it from. they are going through rather excessive lengths already to set this up. So they're out there bulldozing and burning villages and kidnapping and murdering people to make this project happen. How ruthless do you think they will be to make sure it looks like it works once it's built? But it will look fantastic from the outside to the rest of the world, and the rest of the world will say, see, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. So you wanted to see what the reset was going to look like? Here it comes. Because this is a project that looks like it will happen. They've already been routing villages, terrorizing, kidnapping, murdering indigenous people. This is happening. And it's not being discussed at all. It's not being talked about. When the project goes up, and they're planning on having this ready by 2030. So they're going to build this crap fast if they're going to have this thing up and running by 2030. I'd like to see how that's supposed to pan out. I don't see how they can do it that quickly, but what the hell do I know? I don't know what to say. Like I said, it's a gilded cage. But once you're in there, are you really going to be happy, or are you going to pretend to be happy because you're scared of the state? And how far are they willing to go to make it look like it's working? What do you think about this? I think it's an important topic of discussion, and it's something to really keep your eye on. Also, keep in mind, again, like I had suggested, from the outside it'll look great, but you won't know what's going on inside. It's a contained environment. Information will be completely controlled. What goes in and out of there through the internet, because people won't be traveling in and out, or at least the people that live there probably won't be traveling in and out. Like, again, you would need a pass to get in and out of the structure. You have to show that you live there, right? And that pass can be turned off easy enough. What goes in and out via internet will be very easy to control. What are you going to do? And who are you going to tell? Are people going to be camped out there watching the building to see if somebody jumps? It's in the middle of freaking nowhere, pretty much. And technically not, because again, there are indigenous people there that are being tormented by the government. What do you think about that? Post your thoughts in the comment section down below. I want to see what people think about this project. Please do give it a thumbs up if you got something out of it. Share it if you can. Probably the only way it will get seen. And this is something people need to see and need to be thinking about. Need to be pondering, if you will. Subscribe if you are new. Check out some of the other videos if you have not. If you're curious about the random cat images, they are strays that my wife and I take care of, and pictures of them in the video actually help with the loading algorithm, believe it or not. If you wanted to help the channel out, every little bit helps, and I sure do appreciate it, as do the cats. We spend a fortune on pet food. There are links for that down below. And if that is it, then what more can I say but stay frosty, folks, and thanks for watching.